I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for people to get in. All right, we got to start. Um, I'd like to start by saying, first of all, the reason for this is not political affiliated. Um, what it is about this right here, the Constitution and what it means. Because obviously, in today's world, it doesn't mean anything. Um, First, I'm going to begin by reading parts of the Constitution. Excuse me, the Declaration. Now, most people think that the Declaration, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights were all signed at the same time. Um, but actually, it's not true. The Declaration of Independence was signed or written July 4th, 1776. It was not signed into law until August 2nd, 1776. Um, the Constitution was written in 1787, ratified in 1788, and signed into law on 1789. The Bill of Rights was not written until 1789. There was really 12 amendments to the Constitution when it was sent out to every state. 10 of those were ratified, which would later become 10 amendments to the Constitution. I'm going to read the first paragraph. And this was an action of the Second Continental Congress, July 4th, 1776. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of natures and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Now we know that that part was written because the 13 colonies were wanting to separate from England. To do that, they had to separate their government. This declaration was the first way to do that. The next part was, we hold these truths to be self evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. What more can we say today than history was made? Because it's our right as a nation to hold our government responsible for what we have elected them to do. We must stand up and use the right that is given to us by the Declaration of Independence and change our government. Our government has become destructive, and it is our responsibility as patriots to stand up and abolish the corruption that the institute of our government has become. People to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. In recent years, our safety and our happiness has been threatened. It's sad that the government has been allowed to do this. Now, in the Declaration, they wrote certain articles that outlined the tyranny that was the British. I'm not going to go into those per se, but I will mention these. Governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And according to all experience, has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces and designed to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right and their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, America. These are the foundational principles that were written over 200 years ago and that still stand true today. It goes on to say that they had the King George had obstructed the administration of Justin by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He had affected to render the military independent of superior to the civil power. At the end of the uh, declaration, it says, "We therefore, the representative of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world, the rectitude of our intentions, due in the name of the colonies, so publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states." They were signed in order and in behalf of the Congress, John Hancock being the president of Congress and George Thompson his secretary. There were people from every 13 colonies. Now, if we are to be ruled and governed by these laws and this declaration, then we should be allowed to change it. I hope that you guys will come back and listen to an edited version of a podcast later on. Um, I think that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.